Fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back to my channel. So I have a makeup tutorial for you guys today. It's a Halloweeny makeup tutorial. This is a makeup tutorial for Betty Boop's makeup. So that's what this is. And I actually really like this wig, aside from this thing. This keeps like popping out. But this wig is actually pretty nice. If you guys saw my Jessica Rabbit makeup tutorial and you saw that fucking wig was so bad. That thing was like the worst wig I've ever put on top of my head, but it was only $10, whereas this one was $30. So yeah, I really like this one. I feel like Snow White or something. This makeup look is also a collab with the lovely Lacy Nicole. If you guys may recognize her name, I think I've done 2 other collabs with her before, like makeup tutorial collabs, and she is also doing a Halloween makeup look. She's just amazingly gorgeous and she's super talented. Like, her looks are always fucking phenomenal. I always enjoy watching them because they're just really good. Like, she's talented. She's good at what she does. So she's doing a Halloweeny makeup look and I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. So I will link her down below and you guys should definitely check her out. And if you guys want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So we are gluing our brows down first with an Elmer's glue stick, and I found a method to this madness. If I glue my brows like up and I push them kind of over, then they stick to my forehead way better than just kind of trying to push them up. If I push them up and over, works way better for me. So yeah, if you guys saw my last tutorial, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, and then I take a back of a brush and I just kind of push them up and just slick them back on my head, and then I take some translucent powder and I am just patting that over the brows so that they are just nice and like set. Then I'm just taking some of my NYX HD concealer and I'm just popping that on my eyebrows and I'm blending it out with a flat top kabuki brush. And I know it looks like crazy and kind of light, but once you put your foundation and everything on your face, that eyebrow like lightness or whatever that looks, how it looks all weird, it'll just blend out. I'm just setting it with another coat of translucent powder, and then we're going on into the eyeballs. So I'm taking my Urban Decay. This is like their anti-aging primer, I believe, and I'm just putting some of this on my eyelid. You can use whatever matte eyelid primer you have, and I'm going into the Lorac Pro Palette. I'm taking the shade Cream, and I am just popping that on my lid to like set that primer. After that, I'm taking a matte white Sephora eyeshadow and I'm just popping this on my eyebrow as my brow bone highlight, and I'm using the EcoTools crease brush to do that. And then I'm going into the shade Mauve in the Lorac Pro, and I am just putting this in my crease as my transition shade. The brush that I'm using is, is the tapered blender, and I'm just going back and forth in like windshield wiper motions. You guys know the deal. Then I'm going on into Sable, and I am just putting that in my like eyelid socket, the crease area. I'm really trying to emphasize the roundness of my eyes, and I am doing this with an EcoTools smudge brush, and I'm just going back and forth and really emphasizing that shape, and then I'm blending it out with this DVA blender brush with no product on it. I'm just doing it to blend out the shape a little bit, and I'm going back into the cream shade and I am just cleaning up that lid area because a little bit of it got a little muddy, and then I'm blending it all back out and together so it's all nice and blended but clean. As always, guys, the products that I use will be listed down below. Then I'm taking that black shade on a CVS gel liner brush, and I am just really cutting out and like carving out that round crease shape with this, and just drawing on just a kind of thick, not thick, but like thin black line. And then I'm going into espresso, yeah. And I am just kind of blending that black out a little bit. Then just going back into that matte white Sephora eyeshadow, and I'm just popping this on my brow bone. And then we are going to be creating our, well, this isn't a cat eye, but I'm using liquid liner to create like, I'm outlining the eye shape, because you don't want to create a cat eye because that makes your eyes look like longer. We want to make our eyes look round, so I am just outlining the top of the lid rather thinly. After that, we're going to start our brows. So I am taking a Sephora eyeliner and I am just creating the shape that I want my eyebrows to be. So I'm doing a rather thin shape, but it kind of like swirls, not swirls out, but like kind of, you know, you'll see that it does that shape at the end. And then I'm going over it with my Milani, what is it? No, not Milani. What am I talking about? The Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in Ebony. I'm going over the shape and just kind of making it cleaner and just a little bit thicker and just nicer looking with my Dipbrow Pomade. Then I am taking my Sigma E17 and I'm taking that black shade and I am just putting that on my eyebrows to set the Dipbrow pomade and just make it so that it like fills in any cracks or whatever. And then I'm just throwing a coat of mascara, the Benefit They're Real, on my lashes to prep them for falsies. And the lashes that I popped on are the Cocoa Lashes in Risque. The foundation I'm using is the NARS Sheer Glow and it's in the shade Siberia. I am just putting like a whole bunch of dots all over my face and then I'm just bopping it on out with the Beauty Blender. Now onto highlighting. So my pale booty is using the NYX HD Lavender Concealer and I'm just popping this underneath my eyes in like a triangular shape and then I am just blending it out with the Beauty Blender yet again. Then we're going on into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit in Fair, and I'm taking the shade Fair, and I'm putting this underneath my eyes, on my chin, and on my forehead, and down the bridge of my nose, and I'm using this to highlight some more, and also to conceal. For my pimples or any like areas that still have redness peeking through, I'm taking my Physicians Formula Concealer X Concealer and I'm just popping it on those areas. For cream contouring, I'm going back into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit and I'm taking my DVA Mini Flat and I am drawing a line diagonal down from my ears and up towards my temples, and then I am blending it out with my MAC 130 brush, I think. I'm blending it out in upward circular motions towards like my temples and just blending it on up. This look doesn't necessarily need contouring because it's Betty Boop and Betty Boop has like the roundest face ever, but I wanted to contour because I wanted to contour. I like contouring. So you don't need to though, but I'm going to. I'm also popping some underneath my nose. And then we're going to contour our nose. So this is the Milani Brown Eye Highlighter in Taupe and Vanilla. And I'm just drawing a line down the bridge of my nose and like down the sides of my nostrils and like up on the tippy top of my nose. And I am blending that down the sides of my like nose bridge and down the sides of my nostrils with the Sigma 3D HD Kabuki brush. 3D HD Precision Kabuki brush. Yeah. Then my Beauty Blender doesn't have any product on it, but I am just like bopping it over my nose so that the contour lines are further blended out on this and pretty like. And then I'm taking my ColourPop highlighter in Monster and I'm just popping that on my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, on the tippy top of my nose, and my Cupid's bow. I'm just going to set everything with the Urban Decay Naked Powder, and I think I have the shade Fair, I think Fair Neutral or Fair or something like that. And I'm just doing it in this little patting motions because this gives you more coverage, and I'm using the IT Cosmetics Velvet Luxe Buffing Brush, yeah. And then I'm taking my Manic Panic Virgin Pressed Powder, and I am just putting this underneath my eyes, on my forehead, and on my chin, and I am doing that with the e.l.f. Small Tapered Brush. Yeah, that's just giving me a further highlight. To highlight my inner corner, I'm taking my Sigma E47 and my Urban Decay Polyester Bride Eyeshadow, and I'm just popping that in the inner corner of my eye. And then I am taking my Jessie's Girl liquid liner, and Betty Boop has like, she has a very heavy black line on her eyes, so I am going to pretty much heavily outline all around my eyes. So I am connecting the inner corner into the bottom lash line, and first I am outlining the lower lash line with just a Sephora eyeliner, and then I'm taking this black shade from the Lorac palette and I am just smudging that underneath my eye and really smoking it out and connecting it with the inner corner and the outer corner. Then we're just going to take the Maybelline Lash Discovery and throw a coat of this on the bottom lashes. And then I'm going in with the Ardell Individuals. These are the individual medium lashes. And I am just going to be popping on 5 of these on my lower lash line because Betty Boop has very long lashes on the top of her eyes and the bottom of her eyes. So we are just popping on 5 medium individual lashes on our lower lash line. That is really just going to give you like a really wide-eyed, dolly, round, Betty Boop-eyed look. For the waterline, I'm taking the NYX Slide On Glide On pencil in white, and I am just popping that on my waterline. Now onto contouring. Again, like I said, you do not need to contour for this look, but I want to because I want to. So I'm taking the Becca Low Light Sculpting Perfector Pressed and my Smack 168 brush, I think. And I'm putting that in the hollows of my cheeks very lightly, and then I'm taking my NARS Blushing Contour Duo in Olympia and my Sigma F05 brush, and I am just buffing out that contour line in little circular motions. I'm also popping some of this underneath my nosy and underneath my lip. And then I'm taking my Tarte Natural Beauty Blush and I'm just popping this on the backs of my cheeks, on the fronts of my cheeks, on my nosy, on my forehead, just all over the place. Just put this shit all over the place. Now for highlighter, I am taking my, what is this thing, Makeup Revolution Peach Lights highlighter, and I am just putting this on my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, the tip of my nose, just again, put this also all over the place. And then, like I've told you guys before, I have no chin, so I am just popping some of my NARS Blushing Contour Duo underneath my chin, underneath my jaw or whatever. Now onto lips. So first I'm using my Jordana Plush Plum Lip Liner and I am just outlining my lips and filling them in a little bit. Betty Boop has a very defined cupid's bow and she just has like nice little just pouty lips. My lips are kind of, well, like my cupid's bow is very, very defined and my lips are like, they're not super thin, so I don't need to do a whole lot to change the shape of my lips. But if you guys don't have a cupid's bow or if you have like bigger lips, you can go over your lips with concealer and just make sure that you emphasize that cupid's bow so it just looks like a nice little heart. And then the lipstick that I'm using is the MAC Ruby Woo lipstick, my all-time favorite. And that is my finished Betty Boop makeup tutorial. So go check out Lacy's makeup tutorial because it looks freaking awesome. Like this video if you like this video, subscribe, it makes me happy, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Bye guys!